Now, the picture editor came over to me one day in the newsroom and he said, hey, Phil, would you like to go on the last ever flight of Concord? And I thought, what? What's he asking me for? I never get asked to do these things, these jollies. They come in, these nice jobs, and they always go off to somebody else. But he'd come to me and I thought, oh, I know, this is some sort of wind-up, isn't it? They're all behind it, all the photographers are behind me laughing, some sort of wind-up, it's some sort of invisible Concord. Well, I can't see that taking off. No, that's not the gag. No, listen, I thought, why me? And I've not got a great record with aeroplanes, to be absolutely honest with you. I remember going to book a ticket for my family to fly to New York. Very excited, and I said I want a return ticket to the woman at the counter, and she said, yes, where to? And I said, well, I want to return back to here, please. And she said, no. I remember that flight, actually. I digress. I remember that flight. I got on, and there was this screaming child in the seat next to me. And I said to the attendant, the flight attendant, you'll have to move me. There was no way that I can sit on this flight next to that screaming child. Not for 6 hours, all the way to New York. Absolutely not. Well, apparently, you can't do that when it's your child. So I had to stay put. And the pilot, wasn't very happy with me. Well, you know what they're like, pilots. You know how they are. You know the difference, don't you, between God and an airline pilot? God doesn't think he's an airline pilot. So the story is, did I want to go on Concord? Well, it just so happened that weekend coming up, and it was the Saturday, and this was the Friday, he was asking me, do you want to go tomorrow on the last ever flight of Concord? It had been grounded, and they were doing some pleasure flights out of Bristol Airport, and these were the last ever flights. And I'd actually promised faithfully that my wife and I would take our 2 children on a camping trip to Wales that weekend. It was all planned. We got the tents packed in the car, and everything was sorted. So I thought about it, and I thought, no, I'm going to have to put my foot down here. I'm going to have to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. I'm going on a camping trip to Wales. Family first. So off we went, off to Wales. And I remember that camping trip was lovely. It was the Welsh mountains, and it was isolated camping. We were camping in a dense sort of wooded area on the side of a mountain. Absolutely beautiful it was. I remember my son on the first night saying, Dad, I need the toilet. And I said, well, there's trees. And he said, no, I need a number 2. And I said, well, that's the beauty, son. That's the beauty of wilderness camping like this in a wood. You can do that number 2 anywhere you like. So he came back about 10 minutes later. I said, good, are you sorted? He said, yes, I am. I said, where did you go? He said, in your tent. No. This isn't the one, by the way. This isn't the one. Where are you going, Ernie? He doesn't like the jokes. This isn't the one about Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, who go camping on their search for the Hound of the Baskervilles or some such like beast. And they're on the moors, and they're camping away on the moors. And it's a beautiful, beautiful warm night. And they're lying there on the ground, and they're looking up. Beautiful sky and stars everywhere. And Sherlock Holmes says to Watson, look at those stars, Watson. What do you deduce from that? And Watson said, well, sir, I deduce that space is vast, and we are one small rock in an infinite number of planets out there. I look at it astrologically, and I think Leo is nearing Capricorn, and that means things are going to turn for us very soon. We're going to find the murderer. And then I look meteorologically, and I think this soft breath of the wind, the warm temperature, that slight golden glow on the horizon. It's going to be a fine day tomorrow. And what do you deduce, Sherlock? And Sherlock said, I deduce, Watson, that somebody's nicked our tent. So, it's not that story. No. This is the story about Concord. So there I am, and we're having a great day, and we're just cooking breakfast, or was it lunch? It might have been lunch, actually. And we're sitting there, and my son all suddenly says, my God, look at that plane. And we look out to the direction of the sea. And of course, Concord has taken off from Bristol. It's gone up across the UK, across Scotland, turned left, gone out into the sea, back round the Bay of Biscay, and it's coming in via the Welsh mountains into Bristol Airport. Yes, Concord is about, that I should have been on, is just about to fly over us. And I said, son, I had the chance to be, that's Concord's last ever flight. It's going to be grounded after this flight. It's about to land in Bristol, and I could have been on that. And it went over us at about 500 feet because we were high up in the mountains. And I looked at him, expecting him to say, you know, and you chose us, Dad. That is really, really lovely. I'm so proud of you. And he looked at me and he said, you could have been on there taking photos on the last ever flight of Concord. You're an idiot.